There's a pattern. In every market cycle, leadership changes. Capital doesn't stay concentrated in the same parts of the market forever. It shifts, sometimes gradually, sometimes fast. The goal isn't to predict every turn. It's to see which sectors have the strongest setup right now, before you spend hours researching the wrong part of the market. Right now, on Invyra's sector compass, basic materials shows the strongest setup in the entire market, a rotation strength of plus 26. Utilities, the sector usually treated as the safe one, shows negative 11. Here's what that actually means and how I use it. Invyra groups sectors into three types. Cyclical, sectors that tend to do well when the economy expands, like basic materials, consumer cyclical, and financial services. Sensitive, sectors that react to rates in the business cycle, like technology, energy, industrials. And defensive, sectors often treated as safe havens, like utilities, healthcare, consumer defensive. There are tendencies investors often watch. Cyclicals may benefit in stronger growth backdrops, while defensives may attract attention in risk-off periods. But markets routinely break the textbook pattern, so I treat sector labels as hypotheses, not forecasts. A lot of investors think, I just need to pick good stocks. The sector doesn't matter. That's true, partly. Picking the right business is still the foundation. Nothing replaces that. But even a high-quality stock can sit flat for months if its whole sector is facing a headwind. Not because the business got worse, simply because you're rowing against the wind. And against the wind, no matter how well you row, it takes more effort to cover the same distance. This is where Sector Compass on Invyra comes in. Every sector gets a rotation strength score. A positive reading suggests stronger rotation conditions under Invyra's framework. A negative reading suggests weaker ones. It is not a direct fund flow tracker. It blends three inputs: Prism's technical momentum, average valuation, and sector breadth. Breadth asks whether strength is broad across the sector or being carried by just a handful of large names. Basic materials, a cyclical sector, currently has the strongest rotation conditions in the market. Utilities, a defensive sector, is showing weaker conditions, the opposite of what its safe label might suggest. This is exactly why you can't judge a sector by how safe its name sounds. You need to look at the actual reading, at the right moment. And Invyra is explicit about this. It's descriptive market data, not a buy or sell recommendation. It gives me context. The decision is still mine. So how do I actually use this? Step 1. I check Sector Compass to see which group currently has the strongest rotation conditions. Step 2. Instead of picking a random stock in that sector, I open Value Map and filter down to just that sector. On this map, the further right a stock sits, the larger its estimated margin of safety relative to Invyra FOF. Higher on the chart means a higher IQ quality score. I look at the upper right region. Stocks with both a solid margin of safety and strong quality. But that region is a research shortlist, not a buy list. I still check earnings quality, the assumptions behind the fair value estimate, liquidity, and the specific risks of the business before doing anything else. That's the workflow. From macro to sector to a short list of businesses worth researching further in a few minutes instead of a few hours. One caveat, and it matters: rotation signals can lag and sectors can reverse quickly. This isn't a prediction engine, and it isn't a direct measure of money flowing in or out. It's a composite read of momentum, valuation, and breadth. I use it to decide where to spend my research time, not to trade every color change. A common mistake is finding a strong company, but ignoring whether the broader sector backdrop is helping it or working against it. That's the gap this workflow is built to close, not by predicting the next move, but by giving you better context before you dig in. Stock selection determines how much you win when you're right. Sector selection determines whether you're rowing with the current or against it from the start. A sector signal doesn't replace stock research, and it doesn't predict the next move, but it changes where I spend my research time first. Sector Compass and Value Map are both on Invyra.thincrium.ai, link in the description below. If this helped you see the market a little more clearly, drop a like and follow for the next part.